Have you been seeing crazy graphics, crazy predictions, crazy, big, insane thoughts from big-time personalities like myself, talking about how the Nashville real estate market is about to crash? Because if you have, that's the reason I'm making today's video. I want to examine if what people are saying is actually true, so stay tuned. While it's true that things have slowed down, the market is still relatively even keel, and I want to give you three big reasons, three things you can harp on to see that what I'm saying is actually true. Now, when the data comes out in the coming months and we've changed course a little bit, I'll be the first one to jump back on here and clarify, but for now, we're pretty even keel, so let's jump right into it. Number one, inventory. You see, most of the things that people talk about when it comes to the market changing, that inventory is way up. That's their big headline. Inventory is way up. But look, real estate is cyclical. I talk about this all the time. Every year it's like clockwork. January is the low for sales. June, July is the high. When it's cold, nobody wants to buy. When it's warm, people want to buy. What I've talked about recently has been, and we've seen this 1-to-1 ratio in the market, about 1-to-1 in terms of under contract versus available. So let's build on that a little bit more. Back in April actually, we had about 1,250 properties under contract to 1,400 properties available. Today, we have 1,350 under contract and 1,550 available. So while we have more under contract, we also have more listed. So it's kind of a little peculiar that people say inventory is up. It's like, of course inventory is up. It's the warm part of the year. So in order to get a big price drop, what a lot of these people are predicting, I think the ratio needs to go 2-to-1, 2.5-to-1 in terms of available versus under contract. So for instance, if tomorrow we magically had 2,500 properties in Nashville available versus 1,000 under contract, you'd probably start to see some good price deceleration. But we're not there yet, and I don't think we'll ever get there. And here's a big reason why. So many of the people that bought the last few years and have interest rates in the 2s and 3s are not selling anytime soon. They're kind of trapped. They can't go somewhere new, and if they do, they'll have a big, much higher interest rate and interest payment. So that's going to hold back a lot of the inventory from coming to the market, keeping things relatively stable, and I think keeping that available versus under contract, good to go for quite a while. It's truly a tame buyer's market at the moment. Notice I didn't say sellers, I said buyers. We went from a crazy seller's market to a muted seller's market to a slight buyer's market at the moment. But remember, sellers are still getting 98 to 99% on average of their list to sales price, which leads me to my next point, number two, pricing. I can't begin to tell you how many people have recently called me and said, Brad, I'm seeing price cut emails everywhere. I'm getting them daily. I'm getting them weekly. In the areas I'm looking, people tend to be cutting prices, which can be a little bit of a confusing thing because I just gave you the info on the 98 to 99% of lists to sales price in the last few months. So what are people seeing? Most likely what you're seeing when you're seeing so many places cutting their prices is places that were overpriced to begin with. If you see a listing that's just gone on and cuts the price in the first 2 weeks, that is a telltale sign that they were overpriced to begin with. Again, going back to April's data, in April, sellers were getting 98.5% of list to sales price. In May, it went up, 98.9% of list price. So how can prices be dropping but also rising at the same time? It's truly not what people are saying. So let's wrap this up with a big stat on pricing. For March, our median price in Nashville, $502,000. For April, our median sales price, $505,000. And for May, $532,000. We jumped $27,000 in 1 month. I'll be curious to see where the June numbers come in come early July. My guess is we may pull back the tiniest bit, but again, we're still going to end the year up 5 or 6% from the start of the year, which leads me to my third and final point, closed sales. Now, this is one of the few areas where you could say, yes, sales are down. And it's like, yeah, of course they're down. We're comparing it to the craziest period ever, 2021 and early 2022. When we look at sales the last few months, yes, they've dropped year over year. So April of last year, we had 905 sales for the month. April of this year, we were at 800. May, 1,005. This year, around 900. So again, they've dropped, but because interest rates are up, my prediction over the last year or so has been when interest rates start to rise, which they have, and they've recently abated that rise, it would take buyers time to get adjusted and used to it, and then they would eventually come back into the market, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So what should anyone buying or selling or agents look to do? Look, for me, this YouTube channel is fun, it's fresh. I get on here weekly, explore new topics, and teach myself things that I would love to know to help be a better agent for you. I'm not a hype guy, I'm not a cheerleader, I'm here to be your agent. After 12 years of doing this, nearly 400 sales, I would love to be your agent. Reach out if you want someone who's really good, knows their stuff, can help you get to the start to the finish line in a fun, easy, friendly manner, and I'll still be here. See you soon. Cheers.